Welcome to the Trash Cats Trash Cast. I'm Richard.
I'm Steven.
And Steven, I gotta tell you, I am chock-a-block, full of grape leaves and hummus and beef shawarma.
Like a little Lebanese pig.
I had myself a nice mukbang before we started.
Oh, yeah.
I got home maybe about an hour ago, and I don't get to go down to this spot very often, but there's a spot in like our market area down here that's got just the best Mediterranean food.
Is that the place you took me?
Yes.
Yeah, it was very good.
I love it so much. Their grape leaves are phenomenal, and they now have, and this is a big boon for me. They used to just sell like 5 in a small thing. They now have an option for a 12-piece. And it's such a good deal. And of course, I'm getting that and I'm fucking that up.
Well, now that you're all malaised and sluggish.
Yeah. I'm ready for the record. There might be some digestional sounds that Steven may or may not edit out.
Well, do you want to start it off nice and easy with an assault?
Yeah, bring it on.
It occurred to me how funny it would be if our podcast, each episode started with a continuing disagreement from the previous podcast. And you know what? The more I've been thinking about it, the more I feel the need to defend the cheese man. I don't like the conclusions you jump to. And
Hold on. Wait a minute. You have to remember, I haven't thought these thoughts in at least a week.
Well,
what was the cheese
all
man?
I've thought about. The guy that bought the cheese.
Oh God!
The Am I the Asshole post.
That was 2 weeks ago, wasn't it?
At least, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Why is the assumption it is bad for him to have spent his saved money when she was unemployed?
I think the assumption's not that it's bad that he spent his money. I think it's definitely an inconsideracy of like, oh, you're saving up to buy a house with somebody.
Was that specifically something because I never saw the post.
Yes, that was part of the claim, was that they were saving up to buy a house.
So the claim is he made a bad investment. But
he made a bad investment without consulting the person that yes, true, fair. It was his money. I 100% concede to that.
But I feel like
agree.
That was taken for granted of like, no, they're a couple. He has no claim to his own money. That's the vibe.
I don't think that's definitely not the vibe I wanted to give. It's not that. Okay. I think for sure. Yeah. Let me cut that.
Okay.
Because that's not the vibe that I had at all. It was that, look, they more or less were like, hey, we're saving for this together. We want this for something for us together.
Well, it kind of sounded like he was saving for them together, and she wasn't saving for it at all.
Okay, and even still, hear me out. It's fine for him to have made that investment. Agreed. And it's fine for, no matter how bad of the math he did.
And even still, fine. Listening back, the math was still $8,000 profit. No, he ended up spending more money. Yeah, he fucked it up. Yeah. But the bad math was still profit.
It wasn't $8,000, it was like a couple $100.
Okay, well, he fucked up everything.
That was if he was able to do it right.
Agreed.
His math was like that he was going to double it. He thought he was going to double his money. Yeah. So I think the real question in that is when his girlfriend says, hey, you're an asshole for doing this because you obviously didn't think well enough about it. You didn't if you would have come to me, we could have done the math together. We could have figured it out, whatever. He did it on his own.
I just feel sorry.
I think it's not in this situation. If someone has to be the asshole, which is what Reddit is, then
maybe she's
he
the
would
asshole.
be the asshole. I don't know what she would have done. I guess he was asking because eventually the update was that she left.
Yeah, couldn't there be a version of this of like he had saved all of the money. He was paying for the apartment. He made an investment and it was bad, but he was trying to make money for both of them and he felt pressured to do so, maybe with a sense of urgency because she wasn't fucking working.
You could argue that, but you could also argue that he already was making money. He had a decent chunk of change.
And he left a safety net. He made a bad and risky investment while still maintaining a safety net that would provide them. That would provide
immediately.
He still had $3,000 left after, I believe, if my memory serves me correct.
And then also had to spend that to keep the cheese fresh.
Okay,
and he had to spend more than that. He went into debt.
But I feel like the approach of what I assume the form and yours a little bit is like, this guy is just the worst, dumbest, baddest investor man. And perfectly innocent, non-rent paying girlfriend is being completely fucked over by this mean money man.
And you have to paint it to these extremes in your head for some reason.
I am painting it to the extreme because I feel like it is the direct opposite of the version I got, and I feel like the balance is probably far more in the middle.
Okay. And your justification on that is that because she was unemployed.
Yes, which is understandable, but I feel that's where my argument comes down to like the nature of the relationship. Because from what I heard, he sounds like he probably was the asshole, but there are versions of that aren't necessarily that I don't. Without knowing the dynamic, like for all we know, based on his wording and finance bro bullshit, he might have been the type of red pill like loser alpha guy that would like legitimately felt she shouldn't be working, I should cover the bills, and like him failing at that really is all of his responsibility. Or they could have been very split down the middle where they each split everything 50-50. He had like she felt strongly about that way but wasn't able to make ends meet currently, and he was going above and beyond to help them both.
I have thought about this.
Yeah.
I did think about this at some point after our discussion where she admitted, so she had like $4,000 in savings of her own. And which leads me to believe that she had some form of income
or past save money at least.
But like $4,000 is a decent amount of money to have if you're unemployed.
Yeah, agree.
For any considerable amount of time. So it's, I can also see a world in which like she may not have like, a W-2 job or whatever with somebody, but like maybe she like makes things and sells things. And this guy's like, well, she's basically unemployed because, she's not making a ton of money. She's not making money like he is.
I see what you're getting at. But
so is she the asshole for taking the opportunity to make things?
That is a far stretch of possible world. I
think it's extremely possible. Someone who's been unemployed for
this is just
a long enough time where he's banked up all of this money.
That's fanfic. You're fanficking.
And that's not what you were doing?
No. My point is that how do I phrase this? Give me a sec.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
My point is that with the limited amount of information I got from not reading the post, but just from hearing it, is that there also could be a version of this where it felt like there was an expectation of him having saved his money for her.
And I would submit that that's also fanficking.
How
you're saying that there's a version of this where
the impression given to me by you and the response you're relaying to me is that this guy sucks because he wasted his money in a way that harms her. But at this point, the original post is not relevant. Agreed?
I think it is. I think some of it is.
No, because we're going off of how it was relayed to me.
Okay, that's right? Fair. I can work with you on that.
So my thought is like, I feel like depending on how the context of the story is told, I feel like she also could be the asshole for leaving him, for making a bad investment with money that was his. Now, if you ask me like 10 out of 10 times, which I think is more likely, I'm still probably gonna, from the other contextual facts of how it was relayed, think he was probably either a loser or maybe a little bit of an asshole, but there was no discussion in the post that was relayed to me that demonstrated the nature of their relationship, that spending his savings is the same as wasting her savings or their savings. Feel me?
I get what you're saying. I would also still incline that in the premise that they are a couple with a goal, and to be fair, if I didn't relay the thing that they were saving up for a house together,
I don't know if you did or not, but if you did, I could have overlooked it, or it didn't feel that relevant in the telling. But I would say any partner I've shared apartment with, I've never combined finances ever.
Right.
I think generally it's like not a great thing to do unless you are like, personally, I don't know if I'd ever want to, but I don't think it's like, I feel like it either have to be married or long-term together before I feel like it's even like a reasonable thing to do.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And it's hard to imagine at apartment level relationship that your partner would have a claim to your money in any way. Or like, even if I was saving for a house with the partner, it would be putting the money in a shared location or having a plan for it. But I would never think money in my savings account, because I'm with my partner, that they're also entitled to it. And I feel like that part of it is like so relationship. That's like just how I think am.
I think that's fair. It's like, that's your money. That's fair. I do think one of the crucial elements of this is that they, like, I don't know, if you have an agreement with someone, whether it's your partner or not, like, you have an agreement with someone that you're going to save up to invest in something together.
Now, what is an agreement to save for a house? Because that could mean anything. That could mean one day we want to have a house. That could mean we're putting money in a joint account. That could mean we save this much a month. Or it could mean we just want to buy a house someday, and we're saving.
Here's and this is something, I didn't have this last time. I was going off of, I had just listened to someone reacting to the story, reading the story, and then I was bringing the story. So I now have the story right in front of me.
Well, hold fire before it's
short. It's very short.
Before or if we go to the source material, I feel like part of my concern was I think we should have initially, or I think it's much more reasonable, I feel like, for me to have the thoughts I'm having about it based off the reinterpretation I heard versus the translate.
That is fair. Yeah. I agree. I 100% I agree. Now, I want to read this to you, and I want to see if it changes at all.
Okay.
In any of your opinions.
Now, I'll count this against me a little bit too, because when we talked about our Goon Lord video, I feel like we're learning a lesson together, you and I, where source material is everything. Have to watch the original video clip, have to read the original post, or else it's just iterations of an illusion.
We are part of the internet mob problem if we're not referring to the source material.
I'm trying to solve the problem.
Okay. So this isn't. Here's the other one. This isn't an. Am I the asshole? This is a. Am I overreacting?
Okay.
Am I overreacting? My girlfriend left me over a cheese wheel.
Okay.
I, 27 male, and my girlfriend, 26 female, were saving for a house down payment. I work. She is unemployed. I have saved $32,000, and she has saved $4,000. So I feel like
So far, I would feel like while you painted my initial reaction as a far extreme opposite end of the spectrum, I would say my initial impression, based off just what we've read so far, has far more points in my direction than the opposite off the little we've read. Yeah?
More points in your direction?
Of my interpretation being far more reasonable.
Just let me get a little bit further.
Okay. But I'm just pointing to my reasonability. Okay.
And okay, you're allowed to do that.
Okay. Let the record show. Now,
I saved 32.
Okay. I have a feeling what you're about to read is going to make this fellow seem far less reasonable, but that the iteration of the story would not have conveyed to me, and thus my previously reasonable standard, while with my knowledge limitation, would still be reasonable, in reality is becoming less reasonable due to the loss of translated data.
You kind of lost me with that, but that's okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
She saved 32,000, or I have saved 32,000. She has saved 4,000. So I feel like I bear the brunt of the financial decision making here.
Ooh, okay.
I was doing the Oxford County Cheese Trail and found a vault release. They were selling a 140-pound wheel of 21-year-old cheddar. It was aged using a traditional cheesecloth method, yada, yada, yada. The farm was selling the entire wheel for $18,500. If I cut it into 200-gram wedges and sell it at $60 each, I can make $38,000. Okay. So already, his original thing is not even like he's saying he can almost double it. I bought the cheese wheel, brought it home in my truck. When I rolled into her apartment, at first she was excited. When I started to explain the financials and investment potential, she turned sour. She didn't yell, but expressed she wasn't happy about how I spent my share of our house savings. She is now staying with her parents. I think she's overreacting because she doesn't understand the Canadian housing market. Our savings are not enough for a down payment without a ridiculous mortgage, and we need to take these opportunities. Am I the asshole, or am I the only one with ambition in our relationship? TLDR, my girlfriend is staying with her parents because I spent my share of our savings on a cheese wheel, which can be cut into wedges and sold for a sizable profit.
Is that the whole post?
That is the entire whole post. There are comments.
Yeah, she's overreacting, and there is an
update.
Okay, keep in mind, by the facts, this man is pretty correct on the factual statements of like They don't have
It's his money. He can spend it how he wants to, and
imagine,
and it's true.
No,
it's true. It's not a lot of money when you're trying to buy a house.
And you make a dumb but ambitious investment, and the majority portion of his part of the house savings has now been wasted in her mind. Now, it said the majority, I believe. So I would imagine the amount left over is probably pretty comparable to the full amount of her savings for the future house.
Mm-hmm.
Her reaction is displeased or pissed or overreacting, maybe. Like we still don't know the nature of the relationship, but she's pissed enough to then spend the night at her parents'. How many times in a relationship have you ever had that happen?
Not once.
Neither have I. And I feel like I understand spending the night at a place. Like, maybe I've had that happen once or twice. But, like, that's like, things are pretty bad. Right? Yeah. I feel like that's a pretty big reaction.
Now, I feel like the update is where I think you start to see more of
his psyche in this.
Who this person is, yeah.
Fair? Okay. Was that known at the time you relayed the post to me?
Yes.
You were aware of this information.
So I this is information that this is information that I gave you.
Okay.
But his phrasing of things I couldn't give a good example of.
Okay, but before I feel like so far though, my initial reaction to the conveyed story, I feel like is pretty reasonable. That he
that's fair. That's fair. And you keep asking for confirmation. I'm giving you confirmation.
We're checking.
I'm giving you confirmation that you're still yes.
Okay, because we're checking.
Yeah.
Checkpoints down the path. Okay.
Yeah. Update. Girlfriend left me over the 21-year-old cheese wheel. Now my landlord is trying to evict me for commercial activity.
Okay.
I have taken some of your feedback into consideration from my last post. For those curious, my girlfriend is no longer in the picture. She cracked due to low risk tolerance, so I've decided to go all in on the business. I initially tried to return the wheel to the distributor. I decided to go all in. I initially tried to return the cheese wheel to the distributor to recoup some of the capital, thinking they'd have some pity. They were actually considering it until they came out to look at it in my truck. Apparently, the minor heat damage I caused to the paraffin wax while trying to open it last week compromised the wheel, which was already non-refundable in the first place. Since I'm now stuck with a 140-pound, $3,000+ asset, I had to $30,000 plus asset. I had to pivot to asset protection and keep what I still have. I went out and bought a true TBB 2HC 59-inch solid door back bar cooler, a professional digital temperature humidity controller, an industrial humidifier, a vacuum sealer, and ripening mats.
These
Total
are
cost was
wise
about
decisions.
$8.5K after taxes. Expensive, yes, but I wasn't going to let a $30,000 plus investment depreciate value.
Of course.
The delivery was difficult. My apartment door is narrow, so I had to take the door entirely off the hinges and shimmy the cooler into the living room. I had maybe 1 millimeter of clearance between the frame and the unit. I was exhausted and excited, so I started researching installation on my phone before putting my front door back on. That's when my landlord walked in. Apparently, he believes my door being off the hinges somehow removes my reasonable right to privacy. We already have a strained relationship because of my own use of the unit. He still holds a grudge because I was doing some light metal fabrication with a consumer in all capital letters, plasma cutter in my kitchen a few months ago. He saw the cooler, the vacuum sealer, and the wheel of heritage cheese and started crying about commercial operations and fire hazards. I told him very clearly, the cheese is for personal consumption. There is nothing in my lease that limits how much dairy a tenant can own.
Base?
The next morning, I found an eviction notice in my mailbox. It's riddled with spelling errors as if written in a haste. I'm already preparing my defense for the landlord-tenant board.
Good for him.
Edit. I've added a plus to the valuation as it is possible to increase my margins depending on the quantities I sell in. Also, please bear in mind that I have sold 0 cheese, so I feel like this is premature action.
This is a meme. He's absolutely memeing. This is
a meme person.
This is either not real or it is a meme. But
it's very possible that it's not real. It's very possible. Now there were pictures.
Sure, but
I don't know where.
But I still feel like my at least intuition that there is a like bias happening in the minds of the readers. I feel like I'm onto something. I feel like there is like a bias that him spending his money is wrong.
I don't think it's that it's wrong. I think it's that it's inconsiderate if you're taking into the account of the situation that you have an agreement with someone that you're trying to save up for. Like, that's a large financial decision. Like, I wouldn't.
I agree.
It's so much money.
But that's why I
feel like that's something
point of like that. That's why all that matters is the nature of their relationship. And I feel like nowhere in the post is that addressed at all. Of like, what are their expected financial engagements or relations? Mm-hmm. Where I feel like there is a bias of why is the expectation that inherently would be like wrong, or like I don't even know if it's inconsiderate depending on what mm-hmm. their arrangement is like.
And that's fair. I feel like, and you're right. For their situation, it might not be that crazy. I'm saying in every situation that every relationship I've ever been in, it would at least be like, wow, you took a whole swing.
Can I challenge
on something
that?
without consulting? And it's like that would be pretty wild. Yeah, sure, challenge it.
When I think of all of my major relationships, which is all of them, okay, because mm-hmm. they're like all fucking over 5 years long and back to back, okay, because I'm a masochist, okay. All of my relationships like that, there are things we've had a shared financial relationship with, or like a shared understanding of how we would pool our money or work together. And for most of these relationships until like the last couple years, it was always we're broke as fuck and we share our money to get by, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But if I'm in any of the positions where like I was up in money and we weren't desperate, I can't think of a time like if I spent half my money, like I was joking, but like if I spent half of my savings on a big drug deal and it went bad and my partner said, fuck you, that's inconsiderate, I'm going to my mom's, I'd be like, okay, stay there. Like that would be the nature mm-hmm. of my relationship, where like there are things, if we're communicating and considerate, we know we're together on. But if this is my shit and I want to do something with it, you don't have claim to it. And under
sure.
the expectation that they have just as much of a right to that as well.
Someone in the comments says, she didn't leave you over cheese, she left because you're stupid.
That's fine. And I agree. He sounds stupid as fuck. But that's not like the bias I was intuiting.
Sure. Yeah. And I agree. I think there is a difference in the communication of the planning and whatnot. But I think the idea of like, oh, you're planning to like, you're trying to save up for a large financial decision together.
He's risking their progress for what in his mind is a better chance at that, and what in her mind is such an unreasonable chance at it that it harms their progress towards it.
So this is a really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a really good breakdown here. You say this cheese often sells for $120 a pound, yet you actually paid $132 a pound for it.
This
In
is
that
irrelevant.
case, oh no, because he's saying that he could sell it for $120 a pound, but he paid $132. He paid more than what he was going to charge for it.
But that's the fact of the matter, not.
Oh no, I don't. No, I agree. I'm switching. Yes,
Okay.
I'm switching because I want him to rag on his math again.
Why? I don't get that part.
Because I think it's funny.
I don't.
I think it's funny. He fucked up. This.
But it's under the context of him being like bad.
It's under the context of him being dumb.
No. That's like the takeaway. That's like the good version of the takeaway. Like when we laughed at it and it's like, oh, that guy is dumb. But I feel like the context of both the post and the internet, similar to the Goon Lord, is no, this is bad. He's bad. He is the asshole.
Do you want, okay, so am I not allowed to read this math?
I just don't, it doesn't do anything for me. I don't get it. What is funny? It's like numbers that he did wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But I see no.
I won't. Yeah.
Where's the comedic value I'm missing?
I thought it would be. I thought it would be just fun to laugh at somebody else's fuck up. That we potentially think
lost
is fake
the house
anyways.
And a partner.
That we potentially think is fake
sad,
anyways. But
this is sad stuff, man.
It's yeah. You know what? It's sad.
Jordan Peterson would be weeping his eyeballs out right now.
But of all the things that are, all the other sad things that are happening in this world,
oh man,
I found something I can poke fun at.
It just doesn't do it for me, to be honest.
Okay, fair.
How was your week? And did you see Trump in the IRS?
Yes, I did. And that sums up my week.
Yeah.
I'm slaving away for, just to be able to, save up
traders. Yeah.
Yeah. Pay off my little debts and maybe have a little something nice. And, meanwhile, the king of the United States is writing, multiple $1 billion checks to himself. So that's cool.
Yeah. Bro. I can't, bro. I just want to TOS and Fed Post.
And prohibiting anyone from like going
suing
after him legally. Yeah, suing him in the future. Yeah, that's
the amount was 1.776
Jesus.
Bro, and the amount is 1. So people have to know by the time this comes out. Trump sued the IRS, which is under his branch of government that he has direct control over, and he sued for his leaked tax returns during his presidential runs. Keep in mind, he was the only president or candidate to ever refuse to give his tax returns to the IRS. They are eventually leaked, assumably by someone at the IRS. He decides to sue them just this last year or two, whatever, for $10 billion. And because he's the president of the United States, because he has immunity, and because
his lawyer is the head of IRS or some bullshit or something like that.
His past personal lawyer, and because the president does have direct control of the IRS, he was able to settle his own suit against the IRS with himself, and he settled instead for the $10 billion that he initially wanted. He claimed 1.7. Now, part of the meme of that is the amount in the initial agreement is 1.776, but the fine details of that contract or that ruling or whatever, there is no limit. The initial amount is the 1.7 billion. There is no cap. So all this reporting that it's 1.7, almost 2 billion, that's just what they're determining now. He can pull whatever else he wants into it. Yeah. There is no cap. And the further agreements of it are that him, list of all his family members and a couple other people around him can never be investigated, sued, or charged, or looked at by the IRS indefinitely in the future. Trump, all his businesses, all his family's businesses. And then the money is going to a council for people that have been politically prosecuted by our government, which means Republicans that were abused by Democrats in the system working against them. So the money is being pledged to J6ers, people like one of the people that is already filing his claim, the leader of the Proud Boys, El Tario, whatever. All these MAGA worms over the years are all applying. Trump has full control of the count. He gets to pick who's on the council, and he has sole discretion of final spending decisions, and they have 2 years to spend all the money. So it is just a unlimited pool of money stolen directly from the IRS by the president to give to whatever he wants, but really the idea is people that Republicans that were held accountable by Democrats over the last whatever years. But he'll do whatever the fuck he wants with it, and it's just pretty incredible. A president, I don't think has ever done anything aside from his attempt at treason, which is in a different direction. This is probably the most corrupt, blatantly corrupt,
just
thing ever done.
Outright, there's not even a veil.
Yeah, it's fuck you.
There's not a weird
gold from the floorboards type shit.
It's not what was Watergate? Was just someone was communicating with someone over some shit, and it wasn't even
steal data from the Democratic headquarters.
Yeah, it wasn't even this is so far beyond that.
Yeah,
and
it's incredible.
The one I think is silly. I think it's very silly, but I do think it's pretty fucked. It is the one where I see it in comments all the time on shit of these are the same people that were mad at Obama for wearing a brown suit. It was
what a good.
It's
name.
Dog. How do you defend this? How do you look at him and go yep, that's my man.
He is going to steal. There was just all the reporting about his personal finances. He made over $100 million worth of trades in the last year of things he was making policy or rulings on or whatever, investment into NVIDIA, OpenAI, all these things he's affecting policy. He's already made over $100 million in the last 6 months over things he was directly affecting. People complain about Nancy Pelosi, whatever, doing her, investing in stocks in Congress. And this man has corruptly stolen from the American taxpayers more money than ever corruptly taken by all of our government officials ever.
Yeah.
The amount of the Trump coin, the amounts of the planes, the amounts of the legal stock trading, the amounts of these stolen money for the biggest crypto scam in history, the amount of money for one individual in our government to have taken, I can all but guarantee it's more money than all government officials in the history of our country put together.
Yeah.
The crypto coin alone. I mean, it's just...
he's not even done.
No, that's not... The next 2 years, the things that they just pardoned the Tina Peters, the woman convicted of she was stealing data from voting machines to give to the MyPillow guy. She ultimately didn't get it to him, but she had people breaking into voting machines on behalf of Trump and was convicted for it. Pardoned. A state pardoned crime because Trump pressured the governor or whatever. The amount of shit that's going to get stolen over the next 2 years is going to be unimaginable. I'm a full infinite. I mean, and I feel justified to a lot of people I've been arguing with for a long time. But and I have been for a long time, but I'm full justification for anything towards these people. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's typically
Fed post.
I think it's typically not I don't know if polite is the right word. It's not, people don't like to think about it because it's like, we can do better. We could be the bigger person, and we can do this the right way. And it's like, listen, I'm all for doing things the right way and applying the justice system as it's supposed to go. I think that's fine and good and great. I think there are some crimes that sometimes people need to be made an example of.
Absolutely.
And I think there's something of like, look, stealing is bad. And I think that's fair to say. And I think that stealing, a little something off the top is like, okay, look, that sucks, and we can prosecute that. And we have ways of dealing with that. When not only have you stolen, as you've so well put, I do think you're correct that like there's no one's ever stolen this much money.
No
one's ever stolen this much from the taxpayers, from everyone, than this one individual, and then continues to like. I get updates on like Instagram videos sometimes of like his email things that go out, like 6 or 7 emails that go out every day to people that are on this mailing list, and they're like, obviously scams for old people. And they're like,
the Trump phone scam is going crazy.
That one's funny. That one's pretty fucked.
See, to me, that's way funnier than cheese math.
It's definitely extremely fucked.
But those people deserve it. I feel bad for dumb cheese boy.
I do, but it's fucked because he still ends up with like, what was it, $60 million or something?
Yeah.
Out of that. And it's like,
at least
crazy money. And it's like, it's fucked that he's conned those people, but also you're right. They deserve it.
Yeah.
They
deserve it, and he deserves to be held responsible for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just because they deserve to be conned, and to lose their investment, to spend $5 on a phone that costs about $100.
No, they spent like $600.
Oh, wow.
Like almost minimum, I think. I don't think there were any options below 500. They spent a lot of money, and there is no phone still. It doesn't exist.
Yeah. Well, I thought some people were getting them, and they're like,
there were some. There
like
might
it was
be
like a press. Their press people are getting them, and they're like neon yellow, and they're not actually gold.
There were different things that have been shown, and things that have been alleged to have gone out, and maybe some like fake bad versions of the phone went out to some select people. But at least, bare minimum, 99% of the people that bought them have not received anything.
Oh, sure.
And the model that they said it would be has already changed so many times that I don't think it could even be alleged that there is a version of the phone that has went out. There might have been select, like, lies put out or versions gone to specific people, but no version of the phone has gone out to the public. Is my understanding, at least.
Yeah. It's just, boy, it's, there's certain things where it's like, look, if you don't, obviously jail isn't really a working threat, for some people.
He will have no consequences.
Even like capital punishment.
Violence, yeah.
Yeah, capital punishment, even like, I think there are some people that like, if that exists, if capital punishment exists, what for other than someone who is, ruined the, stolen from affected so many people, in such a negative way.
Sorry, I'm getting trigger sent off. I don't understand. All right, here's something I've had a problem with for a long time. I don't like early Trump. I was like about as angry because it felt incredibly obvious the possibility or the capacity for what things could be, the potential for all of these things to happen. And people did not care, didn't listen. And then there were like more people closer to my thinking that very quickly did this guy is Hitler thing, kind of even jumping the gun a little bit. But I'm like very empathetic, or like even then was pretty empathetic to that comparison, right?
Sure, yeah.
Even if it probably was premature at the very earliest of times. And then since, even in, recent weeks, Republicans love to do the thing of like, you keep calling him Hitler, what do you expect? Or like, of course this would happen. You've called him Hitler this long. And there's been like an anti-jerk of like, no, we shouldn't like use that type of rhetoric or talk this extreme about it. Look at what happened to Charlie Kirk, like shit like that dumbass shit, right? If we truly believe something like USAID being uprooted has already caused the deaths of hundreds of thousands of kids or people, whatever, and is projected to let 10 million, I believe it was, people die. If we truly believe like the things this man and his people have done are as bad as we have and still do claim, like, I feel like there is nothing unwarranted. And I don't like the talking out of both sides of the mouth of like, it is this bad, but we shouldn't be extreme, or it is this bad, but we shouldn't say it. It's like that back and forth of like, it feels like weakness to me.
I agree.
Yeah.
No, it is the most important, like, to call it, to try to like, play it down in any way does such an injustice.
Yeah,
like
I get to the suffering and projected suffering. Yeah,
I do get some of the idea of like
the optics.
When not even the optics. It's partially that, but like when you have people that are going like, especially early on when it was like, oh, this guy's Hitler, and then that bolsters the people that are in support of him of like,
because we just hadn't got to that part of the story yet.
Yeah. So I think that might have done some damage, unfortunately, of like, because people were bolstered and they're like, well, this is what people are saying about him because they don't, they're just making shit up. They don't know what they're talking about. And then when it starts to come around to being like, oh no, this is actually happening, and like he's fulfilling that claim, he's fulfilling that title.
Absolutely.
He's like really gunning for it. For those people that are like, some of them becoming a little disillusioned, like, hey, like now it's like their gas prices went up and they're like, hey, what the fuck? And so now they're like looking at every little thing like, and you're right, he keeps talking about the Epstein, he was talking about the Epstein files, but now he's not releasing them, and that's pretty sketchy. I don't like that, Trump. I'm still gonna vote for you in 2028, but I don't know, it's pretty fucked.
He's only bad because all the disinformation I read about him being a pedo. It's like those people fucking kill me, bro. Oh my god. Yeah. Like your reason for hating them isn't even based on good shit. It's like
it's rough. I agree that it's, some things you have to call them what they are. And if we're this far, we're pretty much speed running our way to the no-fly list, but
Yeah.
fuck them. No, I do. I think it's fair. I think that people need to like look at this and be like, oh, we can't ever allow that to happen again. That's not, unfortunately, that's not going to happen.
Think about how many movies or stories start with the premise of, what if we could go back in time and kill Hitler as a baby?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're like, oh, but there's actually a guy alive that is making decisions that are leading to millions of people dying. No, it's all cool.
No,
That's
but
cool.
he's...
No worries.
Well, he promised us phones, and we were going to get them. And I'm still going to vote for him in 2028. And
yeah.
I know he deported my girlfriend, but
our boy Vance.
I know he deported
so much better. Yeah.
Yeah. I know he deported my my wife and my kids, but
it's because he knew it was best for me.
Yeah, exactly.
He had the true intentions of what was best for the country.
It was just a mistake, and I'm sure she'll be back, and I'm sure my kids are just fine.
Bruh, fuck this place.
They've never been to Guatemala, but, I bet the food's good down there.
I didn't want to go too far into it all. It's just
that. I will say also I also would like to not go super long tonight.
All right. Speed run. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
All right. I was watching a thing. Okay. We were trying to come up with topics. I somehow ended up on a video about the Tour de France. Okay. I like biking. I'm a little bit of a indoor cyclist. Okay. And this video was on sports psychology. Okay. The premise was essentially that endurance tasks and things that are Sisyphean in nature, okay, like repetitive endurance-based things are really good at peeling back the onion of the mind. They wear you down and expose what's going on inside, and they like true difficult struggly things like that expose a lot of what's happening inside, and if you're not like mentally equipped, you will fail, right?
Sure.
The video's claim was essentially that for athletes to be Tour de France level competitors, a race that travels X thousands of miles on bikes, it's over 20 whatever days, biking hours and hours a day at ridiculous pace over high altitudes, that these athletes are to some degree or another masochists, that they must be sickos, and the winners, to be a winner at something so grueling, an endurance challenge that grueling requires the winners to have conquered 3 specific things, okay?
Okay.
This is the video's claim. It requires them to have conquered their emotions, their control of pain, and their reaction to uncertainty. Okay?
Okay.
Now, this led me down a bit of a rabbit hole going through the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, our favorite website. And the question, okay, I'll get straight to it. The question is pain a condition or an experience? And a large part of that conversation relies on what exactly we believe pain to be, and how is it interlaced or separated from our emotions. Is it like an object or the condition of an object? Is pain a thing inside of us or the condition of a thing inside of us. Your leg hurts. Is it the pain in your leg? Is your leg in hurting? Is it in pain? Or is it the subjective experience of a physical condition?
I hate to do this to you, bud. I do. I hate to do this. So
Okay.
I know this is you did spend some time on this and putting this together for us to talk about. It is both a condition and an experience.
Okay, there is a pain theory. I forget the name of which one it was. That the true definition or experience of the theory of pain is that pain is the reaction to the experience of the painful stimuli. So it's not just the physical condition, but our reaction to that condition.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I get that. Like pain exists because of like nervous system reactions. But if you were to say pain is pain as an experience is like you've experienced pain. You feel, you touch the hot stove, you are experiencing pain. Pain as a condition, when you are treating something, as much like you're treating pain as a symptom, it's a secondary piece of like a kidney stone. You don't, you can treat the kidney stone by like attacking it, but the condition you're in is pain. The condition that you're dealing with, the thing that makes the kidney stone so intolerable, is pain.
What was your answer there?
I'm saying that pain is not just a condition or just a experience. I'm saying that it can be both.
So one of the threads of the original,
prove me wrong.
One of the threads of like the theories of pain was the common sense understanding. Okay, that essentially that pain is our reaction to that condition. Okay. But I feel like if you boil it down farther, the question is if it can truly be both, or if those things are exclusive.
I think what I might be missing here. So I thought when I came in hot that it would kind of amp you up on that more. Because I thought you would have like an opinion that you're gonna like blast me out with that.
I don't fully understand. I think I have like thoughts about it, but I don't know if I fully understand where I'm at with it, and I don't think I understood where you were at with it, if I'm honest.
So, and I think part of it is that, like, I believe that the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy is probably considering the words experience and condition in different ways than I am. It's true as any philosophy, concept. If we're going to talk about it, there's ample pretext that will illuminate the differences in language.
Can I try to clarify a bit?
Please.
Okay. First thread. Pain as something in a body part. According to this thread, pains are like physical objects or specific conditions of physical objects. We commonly use the verbs feel or experience to describe our epistemic relation to pain attributed to the body parts. That pain is a subjective experience seems to be a truism. Given our common sense understanding of pain, this seems to be the more dominant thread. So this is the first version of the argument, is that it is a condition of a physical thing. So like pain is often but not exclusively defined as tissue damage. Whether it's obvious like what the wound is or like what you're feeling, it's a form of like some sort of organic damage. And that is a condition. And the pain we're feeling, is it the actual condition or is it our subjective experience of that? So the second theory is that pain is the subjective experience, and that seems to be a truism. Given our common sense understanding of pain, this seems to be the more dominant thread. Instead of treating pains as objects of perceptual experience, it treats them as experiences themselves. Instead, it is the thread that the official scientific definition of pain picks up and emphasizes, which was first formulated in 1979 by a committee organized by the International Fair of the Study of Pain, IASP, and has been since then widely accepted by scientific community and clinicians. Pain, this definition, an unpleasant sensory and emotional experience associated with actual potential tissue damage or described in terms of such damage. So a lot of the older thinking was that pain was a physical condition. And now much of pain theory has evolved to it being more about our experience of that condition.
I think that's fair. I think that's very fair. I think what I was originally alluding to was more as, and I was conflating the word condition with symptom.
Gotcha.
So an experience is just as easy a word to conflate with either of those in that regard. So their idea originally, we commonly use the verbs feel or experience to describe our epistemic relation to pains attributed to body parts. Yeah, I can see where the idea of experience is definitely more actionable for a medical relation to, like, treating pain and understanding like what's causing the pain, getting to the root of that.
Let me try to separate, see if this helps.
Sure.
A bit. How much of like you're in pain, you had an accident, how much of it is physical versus mental? Because that's essentially what we're getting at, is the physicalism of, is it the condition of the tissue damage, of the inflammation, of the physical cause of the pain in a body versus the mental subjective experience of that condition?
I can tell you from at least my own experience of my most recent kidney stone that there is a considerable amount of it that for sure is physical, and or possibly that, I mean, don't get me wrong, I tried really hard to persevere in a way and try to distract and to try to not, I had 6 hours to sit with it.
Yeah.
Before I eventually passed out. And I think that's a considerable amount of time, to go through the whole, like, the initial shock thing of it. I know there's definitely some of that of like when you cut your finger on something and it's like, it's the initial friction of it, the realization that something happened that makes you feel like the original symptom of pain, and then like you realize, oh, it's not so bad.
There is one of the theories is that pain is basically an overstimulation of emotion. Where that, like you said, the reaction of like, oh, seeing it, like that is, it's worse than I thought. Like that is the feeling of the pain. It was more sensation than you were ready for in a moment.
Mm-hmm. I can see that. I mean, there's definitely something physical though, right? Like there's definitely a physical attribute.
That I agree, and that's where
it's like they work in tandem, but I think that sure, I definitely think that there is the potential for us to exacerbate it with our minds. You know, I think there is also an ability to kind of pull back on it somewhat, but you can't really supersede the, like, if there is, like, you know, nerves are responding to, you know, tissue damage. There's only a certain level that you can, like, meditate your way through that.
I think I see what you're getting at, of like there are limits in a sense. I think
it's like you can probably, depending on what the pain is, you can probably convince yourself to ignore a certain amount of it. Like I get cuts on my hand all the time that are like, you know, I don't feel it until I hit it on something, or I don't think about it. I forget that it's there until, you know, you hit it with lemon juice or something. And like, that's a physical, you know, exacerbation that reminds you of it. But for the most part, I can block it out. I don't even realize that it's there anymore.
I feel like there are mental states that can surpass any pain, but not indefinitely.
Yeah, I think it's like, I don't know. I guess I've never experienced that. I don't know how fully possible that is.
Well, if you just think of like shock, like with a gunshot wound.
Sure.
Or like someone burning, I don't know, at the stake. Like I'd imagine there are drugs or states of mind or conditions of the brain.
Now, there are definitely drugs that that convince you that the pain isn't there.
They're a lot less effective at blocking pain than people realize, though.
I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I got a little crick in my neck, and I take an ibuprofen in the morning.
If we got you nodded out,
I feel right as rain.
If we nodded you out on morphine, and I just pricked your finger with a pin, for the most part, you'd still have a reaction, even if it's muted.
Sure, yeah.
And that's at like near unconscious level of sedation.
Yeah, sure. What I'm getting at is like we make things that do help that, but I think to go without using a substance, like there is definitely, and I like you said, I don't know. There could be, like, you could meditate your way through feeling, the parts of your body for, a decent chunk of time or something. But I can't imagine, like you said, it's not indefinite. There's definitely a point where, like,
everyone breaks.
I don't know if someone's actively sawing your arm off, you can't. I don't know. That's or someone's already done it, and you try to, I don't know. You're still going to feel something, and I think there are tricks, sure, to, like, cut it down, but I think typically our reaction as animals is like, that blood's not supposed to be outside of my body. It's supposed to be inside of my body. Our brain is, like, triggered to panic.
Well, you're almost so. Okay, that's kind of interesting. You're basically getting down to, like, as a matter of a fact, part of pain is the condition itself. That much of it can be the subjective experience, but that there is a, like, bare minimum level of physical condition.
Yes, I think I do believe that.
And
Because I do believe that pain is subjective to a point, like because people have different pain tolerances. Like like
I think that's
a paper cut.
kind of like
a paper cut's going to hurt everybody, but like some people are just going to be way less affected than others.
and that's kind of like the general truism, right? And to like it's a subjective experience, but then you're kind of coming in and saying, but there is a matter of fact to it. Everybody breaks from torture eventually. Your arms get sawed off. Like, you might meditate through a lot of it, but you're still going to feel pain, right?
Yeah.
But then here's something that I think puts that in a bit of question. And there is another theory I think you'll find interesting, but something that puts the condition part into question is like things like phantom limb pain or psychogenic pain,
Sure.
fully developing in the mind. What physical condition would you treat, or would you attribute something like phantom limb pain to? Someone who's lost a limb, and you attack where the limb was, and they reflex in pain. What do you attribute that physical condition of their pain to?
It's definitely a brain thing, right? Like that's, I don't know if it's a fear response or if it's, I don't, like, this is literally, I'm fully out of my depth on this. I have no idea what I'm talking about, but I would just assume it has to be a brain thing, right?
Everything's a brain thing. Yeah.
Well, true. Yeah, true.
But I don't know if it being a brain thing is the same as the condition of pain, of like the condition of the object.
Sure.
In the sense, like, when we're talking about the other pains we've mentioned, it's this tissue of the body is in this type of state, and it causes pain from your nerves to your brain. But with the phantom pain or whatever, it is something just happening in the brain that is not reflecting a physical condition of a specific area. If anything, it's reflecting like no condition of an area that doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm looking. I just googled some phantom limb pain. This is interesting. What triggers phantom limb pain? Might trigger, start, or get worse if you have fatigue, stress, anxiety, depression, an infection, blood flow issues, pressure, or swelling on the stump. Which are like stress, anxiety, depression, stuff like that. Like, that's an interesting thing that adds to that.
Absolutely connect pain to like my mental condition, particularly
for sure.
With sleep. Everything is harder. The mental anguish,
wake up feeling sore, more
physical.
And,
absolutely.
Yeah, your body feels heavier.
I don't know what exactly I was trying to get out of here. I don't feel like I
I think it's interesting. I think it's an interesting discussion, though.
I was getting my ribs tattooed last weekend, and they were both with like a relapse thing, like a trying to stay sober thing, and a dealing with pain. There's a technique in running. I'm blanking on the name. It'll come up if people look. But when you're trying to push how far your body can go, you pick something in the horizon and make that your goal. And when you reach it, you just choose another one.
Yep.
And you're basically just always playing a trick on yourself of like, this is how far I can go, and then I can't go farther. And then as long as I choose to pick the next thing, that's as far as like you're constantly pushing your limits by self-deception.
Yeah.
And
I I only know about that from riding my bike. Which is not the same as running is masochistic. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the Tour de France stuff, like I also agree that is masochistic level of activity.
Yeah.
Because the days when I used to ride my bike a lot. Like I would do, days where I would go cross county, and it's like, it was a lot. I think the longest ride I ever did was like 60 miles.
Yeah, those are long ones.
And it's like, it was a fun day, but like I was destroyed the next day. But I kept doing that to myself of like, well, I made it this far. I can go a little bit further.
Yeah.
Like I can let's see what's over here. Let's just keep going a little bit. And it's like, I got to make it back. I'm already that far out. Now it's like, now I have to go home. And it's like, I could call somebody, but like, it'd be pretty cool if I finished it. I just go a little bit further. Maybe I'll just have them pick me up down the road. And like, well, I'm already a little bit closer. I can just go a little bit further. And like, it totally works as like a tricking yourself into like not thinking about like, oh yeah, my legs are like, jello right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So there has to be a name for it. I don't know what else to call it, but I've had a bit of that look in the mirror effect. Like when you have like a wound or like a skin infection or something, you're like, oh, it's not a big deal. And then like the next day you look in the mirror and you're like, oh fuck, that's way worse than I thought it would be now. I feel like I've been having a bit of that feeling lately with like pain stuff of like less like real pain, but like anguish of like I feel like when and it comes out more and more when I'm tired, right? But I feel like if I'm paying attention to where my mind is at more, I'm realizing I think my level of distress more often.
Yeah.
And I find myself very capable of doing the just run to the next horizon thing. Like I feel like very confident doing that, where I can always have the next thing. And as long as I don't like slow down till that thing and just choose a new one, I don't have to worry about like the mirror effect.
Yeah, I will say I don't think it's meant to be a long-term solution.
And I think that ties in with like, you can block out just about any pain. You just can't do it forever.
Yeah. Dude, that looking in the mirror at something and seeing it is so real.
Yeah.
I years ago I got the worst kitchen injury I've ever had. I was pouring out au jus at the end of the night, and it's like not boiling, but it's like right there. It's just below boiling. And this is a pot of beef stock, salty beef stock that we've been putting. I've been dipping prime ribs in all night. All the fat that's rendering on this are like it's just sitting in this pot.
I'm so hungry right now. That sounds so good.
It was delicious. Don't get me wrong. But as I was pouring it from one container into the other, one of my hands slipped, and most of the bucket poured onto my arm.
Oh no. That sounds terrible.
I had second-degree burns.
That's pretty bad.
And
soup burns too.
I want to tell you.
Molten meat burn.
There was definitely some shock involved. Because what I did, the way I went about treating it that night, I think I got some like nonstick gauze and taped it to my arm, with masking tape. And then went about finishing the rest. Like it was the end of the night anyways. Like we weren't serving any more customers. We were just cleaning up. I swept, I mopped.
That's what I was about to say. We still finish our shift.
We still finish our shift. And then I go to Walgreens, and I think I picked up some like more like non-stick gauze stuff. I knew my dad had just had like an incident with like an oven that he was working on. He did gas utility work.
Yeah.
And he had his head and arms all up inside of an oven, and realized the gas was on.
Oh, no.
And it ignited on him.
No.
So he had like some minor face burns, but it was mostly all up his arms and stuff.
Damn, that could have been way worse, right?
It could have been way worse.
Damn, that's scary.
So he had all of these this like ultimate, like it's silver sulfadiazine. I forget what it's good. Yes, yeah, that shit. It's so good.
Yeah.
That's so we had some of that at home. Yeah. And I got some, and I was putting it on my arm, and the whole time I'm like, this is crazy. It's a crazy story. Like, yeah, it's gnarly, but it's fine. But there's something too about like after like it looks worse as it's starting to heal too a little bit. It's like shit's starting to grow back a little bit, and it looks a little worse. And like you start getting colors and stuff, and it's like you don't fucking know. I don't know why it happened this particular day. But I was used to like taking it off, cleaning it, and like re-putting the shit back on it and whatever. And I guess my dumbass, I got high and I was super ripped, and I went to go clean my bandage, and it was like, oh my God, this is so fucked up and gross. Oh no. And I stood there in the bathroom just like looking at myself like, oh God, what have I done?
Yeah.
I need to go to a doctor immediately. And I think I called my parents crying like, this is fucked up. I don't know what's going to happen. And we did go to a doctor, and they're like, you have the stuff already? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, you're fine. Don't worry about it. Do you want a skin graft or something? I was like, do I need one? They said no. I was like, all right.
Okay. Thanks, Doc.
Yeah, that was the one of like, I know that, it happens with other shit too, but like that one, like big stuff like that, especially, I think there is something with like, as it's starting to heal, it looks worse, or it looks like more bruised or whatever, but that's like signs of healing.
I think with burns more than most wounds. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, you can play it off for a couple of days, and all of a sudden you catch it at an odd angle, and you're like, oh fuck, actually, whoa, actually.
I know I've said it before, but the time where I fucking split my lip, like completely.
Oh God.
Completely in half. Like I was trying to finish my shift until I looked in the mirror. It's like, I have to go to the hospital now.
Yeah. Time is actually of the essence.
Yeah.
It's like I worked with a dude one time. Actually, I'd coming in to like pick up a check because they hadn't paid me for like a month. So I'd left. And like they're like, we'll have the money tonight. We'll call you. And I was like, all right, perfect. They didn't have my money for like a week and a half. So I went back they finally were like, we have your money. And I went to go pick it up. And while I was there, fucking Donnie, this dude in the kitchen, cut his fingertip off on the mandolin.
Bro, those mandolins are menaces, bro.
It's the most dangerous thing in a kitchen for sure.
I would say, what would I say? At least 25% of the finger lacerations I see are from mandolins.
More than that.
Yeah.
More than that. It
is insane how many people get their fingers sliced off with those.
I've seen people like cut themselves with a knife. The only time I've ever seen anyone cut their finger off, the fingertip off, was on a mandolin.
Damn.
Always the thing I used to teach people, the phrase that I tell people is that the last slice of whatever you're cutting is never worth it. Like, quit while you have a fucking handle. We're using this for speed of labor cost. We're not using inconsistency. We're not using this because we want more of the cucumber or whatever the fuck. So I go back there and they're like, hey, they're like, a server comes out. They're like, hey, could you take Donnie to the hospital? And I'm like, yeah.
Fuck out of here. I'd be
So
pissed.
I was like, yeah, I'll take him up to the hospital, sure. And these fuckers come. I go in the back, and Donnie's holding his hands like, it ain't even that bad. It ain't even that bad. And fucking someone else fucking grabs his little fingertip on the cutting board,
Jesus.
and they put it in a bag with some ice, and they give it to us. Dude, this was the funniest shit ever. We get up to the hospital. We're sitting in the emergency room, waiting room for a minute, and we told her what happened, and she's like, "Oh, okay," and they're kind of like, "Give us just a minute," and like we maybe sat there for like 5 minutes tops, and we go back there, and the doctor comes in, and he's like, "All right, so what's going on here?" And they're like, he's like, "I cut my fingertip off at work." And we brought it in. Like, I don't know if you can do something with it. And he was like, "Oh, great, thank you." And he like picked it up and like looked at it for a second and threw it right in the trash.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
And then he looked at his hand and he's like, "All right, so we're definitely going to put some stitches in." And we're just like,
that was gonna, like, because it wouldn't be enough to do shit with.
No, it was really just the tip of his finger, but it was still like it was a big enough chunk that it was
to feel crazy. So I'm just threw it in the trash. Like, what the fuck, bro? That's my finger.
Yeah, I mean, I listen. That place was. This was in Florida. That place was fucking bonkers.
Oh man!
But
that doctor's thrown away a lot of finger parts. I'm sure
that doctor handled that shit like a champ. It's just like, here's what we're gonna do. He was like, it was just so normal for him. He was like, all right, you're definitely gonna need stitches, and you're gonna need this, and you have to make a follow up. Come back with us next week. We can get this done today. It's like, all right, cool, dude. Yeah. Yeah. Fucking A.
Moral of the story: more sleep, more regeneration is needed.
More sleep, and just have you tried just not feeling pain?
I did that.
Have you tried not being depressed?
I did that. What did I say I did that with? It was like
I feel you've said that with a couple things by now. Recently, I don't remember which thing it was.
I forget what it was too. I think it's
not gonna. You're not gonna grieve.
Yeah, I'm done grieving, bro. I think I might actually stick to that one though. I've got a pretty good sense of denialism with that. I think I can manage not grieving. I have just enough nihilism to not care, but pain I'm still working on. I think I might need more sleep than I realize.
Yeah, I don't have enough nihilism. I always think I'm like, listen, I've been through some grief. I've been through some traumatic grief. But I'm not ready. I'm not ready for
more. You don't want another dose?
No, I just thinking about one of my cats being hurt is enough to I get teary-eyed. I get emotional. I don't like it. I am not ready for that.
I can't feel it.
I
feel very dead inside. Where
that's
every once in a while I'm kind of reminded I'm not as much as I might think, but then the things that kind of push the limits, I don't feel as much as I thought I would. Or I'm like, I feel off in a sense. I feel at peace with, but I just feel very disillusioned with reality. Where it's as long as I got
maybe
food and nicotine, I'll be okay, right?
Maybe that's your superpower. You're no grieve man.
I think so, bro. I think I'm there.
Fucking call the Justice League and see if they're hiring.
I'll let the rest of the team die, and I won't be phased at all.
Kick it with Batman and Aquaman and shit. All the other superheroes leave to go fight crime, and you're just hanging out with Aquaman.
Say good luck.
Making sandwiches, just eating ice cream,
making a fish sandwich.
Oh, fucking hell.
Well,
I think that's an episode.
yeah. What are you doing tonight? You
I'm
gotta up early?
going. I gotta be at the zoo at 7:30.
Bro, why are we working?
I
our
have
jobs?
to be at our warehouse before then.
Why aren't we quitting
get
our
supplies.
jobs? Oh, are you just gonna work like a crazy person the rest of your life? Is that the game plan?
At least for the next week, and then by then,
what's the long term goal though? Are you doing this forever or what?
I gotta say, if there's something to do to make money, like that's consistent and is reliable, I don't hate this that much. It's a lot, and what I'm currently doing is a lot. There is
forever
plan.
Though?
There is a plan to have it not be this bad in a long-term way. There are growing pains, and I can see the vision of a world in the future where 10, 15 years from now, where it's just not, it's a fully different vibe when I clock in. So I hold on to that.
That's something.
That's something. Like I said, I do like what I do. It does become a lot sometimes.
I'm getting squirrely, man.
Yeah, I bet. You've been at your gig for a minute.
Yeah. Like 5, 6 years, something.
Yeah, I mean that's about where I'm at with this one. This is the longest I've ever been at one place.
What kills me is knowing I can get a 3% raise every year. Like,
yeah,
that is like so soul rotting to me. Of like,
it's
in 3 years I like can make a compounded 3%. Like, I just don't give a fuck at all. Like, I don't know. The idea of like getting a little bit better, but not like knowing even in 10 years it doesn't get me that much farther is like poison to me. I need to switch.
Dog, I don't even have medical. I don't have bennies.
See, that's why I'm still here. That shit matters.
Yeah. That's my motto of this year is every lemonade sold, every popsicle sold is one step closer to Benny's.
Are you guys going to do that soon?
We've been talking about it, and this year we just it wasn't
I get
feasible.
It's a fucking lot.
And it was either like bump everyone up or like give bigger bonuses. Or look into that.
Fuck bonuses, bro. 401k and Benny's.
We decided that if we held out another year, we would have a better chance at like getting better benefits longer term is what we looked at. We looked at options, and it was like my boss even was like, we'll go, like if you like need, to help with medical stuff, like come talk to me. Like we can work it out. We can figure something out. I can, help cover some of it, because it's still probably going to be cheaper to do that than for him to like kick in on benefits and whatever, for everybody. So, because then there's different plans where it's like it's everybody in your business versus only people over 40 hours and shit like that. There's like weird different shit that we looked at that was like, we can't have a structure like that because there are times of the year where it's not.
You guys are small enough. It is very hard to figure it out.
It's a weird spot. So, but that's definitely on the docket.
It would make such a difference, though. It's just hard because it really only matters for like you and a handful of other people, not your like extended temporary staff and shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck them.
Yeah. Just put all your money into Bitcoin. Risk it, bro.
Listen, fuck going back and killing Hitler. Go back and invest in Bitcoin.
Bro, we're down right now, but I got diamond hands. We'll
But if you had hindsight and you knew when that bubble was gonna burst,
bro,
come on.
I'm at 120% on Google because I knew the what is it, the SEC or whatever the stock or the thing that breaks up monopolies. I knew they weren't gonna fucking hem up Google on that last court case, so I went all in, 120% because our country is corrupt as fuck. They'll never stop Google. We're going all the way to the moon.
Man, can you imagine if you had dumped? I mean, even just dropped a couple hundo.
I believe
on Bitcoin back in like 2010,
36,000% from like the first year.
That's crazy.
Something like that. Big
crazy
money.
Shit.
Yep.
Thanks again for
someday.
Thanks again for listening, everybody. Thank you to Approaching Human for the use of his music. You can find his work on SoundCloud at Approaching-Human.
Thanks, John.
Make sure to check out the show page at Trash Cats Trashcast on Instagram for news and art from the show. Check out Facebook for the memes.
If you're super bored, you can check out my trashy art on Instagram at SkyZXSKYZX. Got something new soon. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, things in the future will be in the present before you know it.
That Wheel of Time shit, man.
That's how the time on the internet works. It's either here or it's not.
It's either here or it's not. And then when it is, it's right there. It's right in front of you.
And if it's not, it'll be there soon.
And before you know it, it's gone.
Gone forever. Delete.
That's going to be all for us today. Stay classy, eat trashy.
Go fast, eat trash.